think I think every farmer, if you want to come to Australia, get yourself a real good agent, and if you put your mind to a thing, you can do it. Yeah, the Aussies are real nice people.
Yes.
Well, the area we live in, real great, and we are still struggling with our English, but they're real patient with us. They wait until you get your words, and then I like it.
I'm Dr. Shamini Tablanche, ex-corporate and academical, turned CEO and board member of several companies, and mother of 4 little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Shamini TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with 4 little kids hearing down under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Jan and Annelie, how are you guys doing all the way from freezing Stanthorpe? I can see that Annelie has got a nice scarf on to make up for the cold. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're great, thanks.
Good, thank you.
That's good. And how long have you been in Stanthorpe for? Because surely is that the first place that you got to when you moved to Australia?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Yeah.
I visited here last year, and I think when was it? November, December, and we moved to Stanthorpe in the end of April.
Wow. Okay, that was really quick. And what do you do in Stanthorpe, may I ask? Because I know it's one of the most beautiful areas that I've ever visited in Australia.
I farm for an old South African farmer. He has some couple of farms here, so and that's my contact for being here.
And is that what kind of farming? Animals?
Mostly cattle. Yes.
And did you do that in South Africa as well? Where about did you come from in South Africa?
Yeah, we're originally from Vryburg area in South Africa, also cattle farmers, and that is where me and my boss knew each other from. We were neighbors over there, and then we moved to Brandvlei for 10 years before we came to Australia, and I farmed sheep over there.
Where is Brandvlei, please?
Sorry, it's Brandvlei is in the Northern Cape. Near in the middle of the Northern Cape, near Kofinia, Uppington area, real arid area.
Okay, all right. Now I have been to Van der Kloof, so I've been in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So how did you guys come to Australia so quick? Tell me a little bit about that process. You said that it's somebody, an ex-neighbor that you knew, but how did you guys decide on Australia, and how did that thought process go for you, and then also visa applications?
Well, it was 2018. No, it was 2019 October. Sorry, I just get my dates right. 2019 October. We were one night talking about, me and a friend of mine were talking about immigrating somewhere. And that next morning, I decided I want to come to Australia. So I told Annelie, we're moving to Australia. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm moving to Australia. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. So we started to search for some contacts. And I knew that my boss now, old ex-neighbor of mine, lives in Australia. So I phoned him up and visiting last year, and that's where the process began. And luckily, he needed a farmhand, so he sponsored me, and here we are.
So he applied for the visa on your behalf, is that right?
That's right, yes.
So what number visa was that? What category?
42, short skilled visa. There's a 42 short skilled visa for sheep farming, because I have a lot of experience in that. And at the moment we're only cattle, but we're going to start a sheep farming here, so still new and everything.
Do you have an avenue of changing over the short stay to a long stay?
Yeah, definitely. We're working through an agent, and hopefully we can just do a permanent residency. But the possibility is there for another 4 years on a 42 maybe. Our age is still we're still young enough to do it. So.
Oh, lucky you! You're much younger than me, I'm sure. So tell us, what's it? You're in your 20s?
No. That's rather flattering.
Yeah, well, you look like you're in your 20s. You look very good. It must be the farming that's keeping you so young.
It must be the farming. Yeah, no, we're both 36.
Oh, that's still young. and tell me, Annelie, did you guys come over with children, or was it only the two of you?
No, we have 4 children. The oldest turns 18 in a few weeks. And the youngest is 4.
Wow, that's a big spread. Yeah, so one Laatlamiki, so 3 older kids and then 1 late one?
Yes.
And how have the children found coming over to Australia? Are they still they're in school then, I assume? Yes. And where do they go to school? Because you guys are on the farm.
Yes, they go to school in Stanthorpe. There's a school bus that comes and picks them up near the farm. So I don't have to drive them to school every day. They love it. They settled in quite nicely, real fast. The oldest, he actually has to be in matric this year, but because we came here in the middle of the year, they put him back in year 11. So he's a bit older than the kids in his class. But he got an apprenticeship for starting next year. So we are very fortunate and glad for him. He's excited.
That's lovely. What apprenticeship? Electrical or plumbing, or what is it?
No, hospitality, cooking.
Yes.
Oh, great. That's an awesome. I wish one of my kids would study that. That would be very handy for mum. That's great. So they grew up Afrikaans speaking and went to an Afrikaans school in South Africa?
We actually homeschooled in South Africa because we were so far from town. But yes, it was just Afrikaans. Their English was quite good from when they were little, so that's no problem for them.
Oh, okay, great. And why did you decide not to continue the homeschooling in Australia?
Oh no, because we're near the school, and the schools are good. Yeah. There's so many choices.
And another thing is, I think it's important for the kids to become part of the social group and to get into the stream of things. So I think homeschooling in Australia I don't think that will be the right thing to do in our situation. So, and the schools are really, really awesome. We're really lucky to be near Stanthorpe. That's a great school.
Yes. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about Stanthorpe? How big is it, and what surrounds the area? Why does it exist? I have been, but it's just so beautiful. Can you please share with us?
Well, like I say, we're only here for 6 months, so we don't know everything else. We don't know a lot of Stanthorpe, but that I know I can tell you. It's in the granite belt area. There's a lot of wine and fruit and strawberries and apple farms around Stanthorpe area. a couple of veggie farmers also. Then there's mostly sheep and cattle mix. But Sandthorpe is a real cold area. We've been through the winter here, -2, -4, I think. And it did snow a couple of times in Sandthorpe history, not this year. So it can snow here. Yeah, there were a little bit of sheep here, but it's a bigger town. I guess there must be around about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people in town, living in town. You can get everything there. There's a Target. There's not a Coles, but there's Aldi and IGA and whatever.
But is there a pub? That's the most important question.
I think there's about 20.
And I think something else that there's quite a bit of in Sandthorpe is accommodation, because it's known for a touristy kind of area, similar to like Dilstroom or what are those ones in South Africa? The other ones, like cold little areas that people like to go to that becomes like a tourist hub as well. So it's arty and it's got that really unique, cozy kind of feeling to it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And tell me, Jan, how is the farming different or the same for you? How have you experienced that compared to being in South Africa? I know you've not necessarily worked on the same setup, but can you give us a bit of an insight of, your perspective? Is it the same? Is it very different? How would you explain it to another farmer in South Africa?
Well, it's definitely not the same. It's different in terms of you're the only farmer. There's no other people that works for you. You're the farmer. You're the workforce. And but the lucky thing is Australia, because of the workforce that the farmer is usually alone. Everything is mechanicalized, and everything is you use tractors and big stuff. We didn't use it, and the way they fence and the technology in farming is much better. That's for sure, and I enjoy it very much. I came from an arid area, like I said, so this is a big difference for me, a high rainfall area, but I love it, and it's nice to know. Well, it sounds a bit silly, but it's nice to know everything is done. You did it, and you did it yourself, and you did it once. So that's awesome. And if you leave your pliers somewhere, it's your fault.
You can't blame anybody else. And Annelie, how is being on a farm for you in Australia compared to being in South Africa?
It is different. Well, like I said, we lived far from town. We were always very isolated, but now it's close, so I can just go into town quickly and buy a bread and milk and whatever. I do attend a play group for the 4-year-old once a week. I think it's good for him to also socialize. He is going to prep next year, so I'm going to be all alone. That's something to get used to, but I like it. I do help him sometimes. I drove the tractor a few days ago for the first time in my life, and it's a big tractor.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, there's no reason why you can't also be the farmer, Annelie, because it's not about the physical ability in this instance in Australia. It's about whether you can drive the truck, and driving a truck. It's not about your muscles.
No.
I have been in some of those farm implements, like those fancy trucks. They are so smart. They're bloody smarter than some of the cars that we drive. They are luxurious galore.
Yes.
It's not a hard day's work to drive a tractor in this area.
And tell me, how does your family feel? What did they say when you told them that you guys were going to leave South Africa?
Well, my mom and dad were, my dad were real supportive. He came with me to Australia the first time I visited. All in all, they know why we're doing it, and they're real supportive about it. And sure, they're going to come and visit us as soon as the COVID is letting up. So no, none of them said we're doing the wrong thing. All our friends and family said you're going to be happy there, go for it.
Oh, that's awesome, because not everybody who come to Australia have that kind of support, as you will know. There are a number of people who have to basically stay quiet about their intentions, and then only at the last minute let the world know. And then, yeah, it's sad. So I'm very happy that you guys have had that support. And what did you decide to bring in your container, assuming you brought a container with you? I'm sure it wasn't a tractor.
No, actually, we didn't bring a container. We talked about it, and the thing is, we're not sentimental people. Well, she's a bit sentimental, but I don't have much sentiment and stuff. So we decided to sell everything and to start over from scratch here. I'm glad we did it.
Yes. No, I think it would have been a waste to bring a container over. We did not have new stuff, good quality furniture. Now I can buy it here. I love my new washing machine.
Have you guys been to IKEA yet? Because that's quite an interesting experience to South Africans.
No, we've not been yet.
So when you go to Brisbane next time, make sure you go past IKEA. You will probably be overwhelmed. But it's one thing that you have to experience. And then places like Kmart, have you been to Kmart yet? And Target,
Yeah.
it's like they've got such great things in those shops. And affordable.
Yes.
Yeah, and the nice thing is we've been married for 18 years. So most of our stuff we got when we were married. So I told her, now the nice thing is about this starting over, we can choose what we want. And now we have to look, and it's not grandma's set of chairs and this size family's dining table and stuff like that.
What did the kids bring with? Only clothes, or did they each bring something that they liked?
Well, they try to bring a lot of stuff they don't have. They're not legally to bring over, but they only brought the clothes mostly. I don't think they brought.
They had rock collections and stuff like that they couldn't bear to leave behind. No, they basically only brought their clothes.
Yeah, well, we fill up 12 suitcases.
Yes, because we're 6 people, so we had 12 suitcases, but that's not enough space.
That helped a lot. Thinking about looking back, I think we could have left some of the stuff behind and bring other stuff over. But on the first time, you never know what will be important and what not.
That's right. You did the best that you could at that time. But in hindsight, things are easier. Yeah. So would you give advice to the people watching, saying that they should bring less stuff potentially when they come over?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. It's not maybe 1 or 2 sentimental things, but I brought way too much stuff that is not needed, like my bathroom scale. I brought it with because it can weigh the mother and the child and subtract. It's a very smart one.
Oh, wow.
And we were here 6 weeks, and the basin overflowed and it got wet and it does not work. So I had to throw it back. So
oh dear.
And I bought a new one and it's not smart, but it works. So
yeah.
Definitely bring some sentimental stuff, but not a lot. It has to have real sentiment to bring it with.
And clothes, also clothes.
Yes.
I think the quality over here and the price is not that bad. So I wouldn't bother that much with those. My perspective, I would rather put in like photos or sentimental stuff, like you said. But we brought everything like a crash course to start up. We brought cutlery. It's not
Yes. In my defense, it is one of those pieces where it's the chest, the wooden chest with all the knives and forks.
Oh, yeah.
I got it from my grandmother, from my mother, and she got it from my grandmother. So
it's sentimental.
Yes, sentimental.
Yes. So that one, yes, but it was real heavy. So it took a lot of our space, and I don't think it was really that necessary. But the sentiment is there. I don't know.
But you know what? That's actually a good one, because it sort of covers two things. It covers the sentimental aspect, and it's something you can use. So I think that's a great choice.
In South Africa, we never used it. It just stood there. And I told them...
A showpiece.
Yeah, showpiece when the Queen is visiting.
And I told them, we're going to use it. We are going to use it. It's not going to just be on the table.
And are you using it? Good.
Yes.
It's a funny situation, because it's exactly the same for me. My husband's mum handed down to us a cutlery set, and we still to this day use that one with the old wooden case that opens still like that, and it's got its slots in. Yeah, exactly the same one. And you know what? I actually really like it. It's a little bit old-fashioned, but to me that's still cool. I think it's great.
But otherwise, it was basically actually straightforward. Your motivation is the important stuff. If you can motivate why you need a South African guy to come and work for you instead of an Australian guy, there's actually no stopping it, I think. So yeah, we used the agent, so I think they knew what to say and what not to say. So yeah, I wouldn't try it on my own. That's my opinion. Because I don't have a degree in certain ways, it's just experience we're talking about. So that's why we used the agent, and I think it was, well, obviously it was
it worked.
The right thing to do, yeah.
Did you have to write paragraphs of explaining what you did in South Africa, or get other people to endorse you?
Yeah. I had to insert my previous occupations, letters from my previous jobs, farm organizations that I worked for. What was it else?
Something that was in our favor is the fact that we started intensive sheep farming.
I think that the thing that helped me a lot is because we did some specialized sheep farming, and not extensive sheep farming, intensive sheep farming. And like I said, I had to give some history. But the most important thing, I think, was the motivation for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Because my vision is what you call it?
Highly skilled.
No, I've got a vision for 4 years.
And you can extend it?
Yeah, so we had to put in a real detailed motivation set up for the next 4 years for what am I going to do here. So yeah, besides that, there wasn't anything else they needed.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that, because I know that there are a lot of South African farmers who would like to come to Australia, but they're just so unsure about the situation on how to apply and how to come over. Because, you know, farmers don't usually, or the perception is that farmers don't usually spend a lot of computer time. And so as soon as you hear, oh, you got to put in paperwork, it's like, no, I don't I don't want to deal with this kind of aspect.
That's where the agent helped. They asked for something and we just gave it to them.
Yeah, I think every farmer, if you want to come to Australia, get yourself a real good agent, and if you put your mind to a thing, you can do it.
Exactly right. That is a very important message. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And even you guys with your 4 kids who used to be homeschooled and then went into the Australian public schooling system at a high school age, most of them anyway. That's amazing. And you say they've adapted. They love it here. They're a part of the system, and Bob's your uncle. Do they play any sport, or do they do any other activities?
Not really. We do take them for horse riding lessons, which they really enjoy. That's something we couldn't do in South Africa. They want to go to the MMA, mixed martial arts. So, but we're looking for that for next year.
One thing at a time, eh?
Yes, one step at a time.
But a thing that I think were something to get used to is the long hours of school.
Yes.
They start at the bus, pick them up like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then drop them off like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a long day for the kids.
Yeah, it is.
At this moment, the sun sets real early in the winter. So they were at home for an hour, then it's dark outside.
I'm sure it's a long day for mum too.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for sharing your story with me. It's been just absolutely fabulous hearing how you've settled into Stanthorpe. And may I just say again, what a beautiful place. Stanthorpe is absolutely gorgeous. Cold, but the hilliness and those just koppies, those like,
the rolling hills.
Exactly right, the rolling hills. And it's about a 3-hour drive from Brisbane, is that right?
Yes, 2.5 hour drive, yes.
So really, in Australian terms, that's nothing. Like 2.5 hours. It's around the corner, mate.
Yes.
Last question. How are they pronouncing your names here?
I'm Lee, known as Lee. I told them to call me Lee because it's just easier. There are some, when we go into a deeper conversation with someone, I will tell them my name is actually Annelie, and sometimes they can pronounce it, but I don't think they will be able to read it. And we were unsure about Jan, but he just said, I'm Jan, and they call him Jan.
Yeah, they call me Jan.
Or the alternative is Jan, so.
Yeah. So no, the Aussies are real nice people. Yes. Well, the area we live in, real great, and we are still struggling with our English, but they're real patient with us. They wait until you get your words, and then I like it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Would you do it again if you had to?
Yes.
Oh, by all means.
Oh, that is so good to hear. I really loved your story. Thanks for sharing with us. And we'd love to follow up to hear how you guys are going, like in another year's time or so.
Yes.
That'd be good.
That will be fine.
Yes, because 6 months into it, you've got a lot to learn still. And and just settle into the area, because I'm sure you've been so busy farming and settling in on the farm itself, as you say, you still need to go and explore. And once COVID goes, bye-bye COVID, we're tired of you, you can go now.
We want to go to the beach.
I can imagine. You should do what we did. We rented a motorhome and we drove right around Australia for 4 months. It was fabulous. I've also got 4 kids, so it's possible with 4 children.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your evening, and we'll have to talk soon again.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Shamini.
It's my
Nice
pleasure.
day.
You too. Bye.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.